So what's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up? ET, what's good?
Not much. Not much. Let the people know who we talking to.
It's your boy Sosa 412. That stands for sharing with other soulful avenues. It's been a minute, I've been on a brief hiatus, so I'm just getting back in the groove of things.
Okay. Okay. So tell the people, where did you grow up at?
I grew up Lincoln. That's my neighborhood. Inspiration behind a lot of my music. Come from the east side, of course, but that's home. I've been home. My whole family's from there. We got artists up there that have been doing their thing for years. That's the home. That's the hometown, home front. That's where I'm rocking at.
Okay. How was it growing up there?
I can say growing up Lincoln, it's like a lot of life experiences, good and bad. But I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Be from anywhere else but Lincoln. Like I said, I'm very family oriented up there. Like my mom, pretty much knows like basically everybody's mom up there for real. It's like we're real family oriented up there. So a lot of good things. It made me the man that I am today. So I can't complain.
Okay. Okay. So tell the people a little bit about your musical background.
Okay, I've been an artist since I was like 13. I started out when I was young. We can even go farther back than that. Like 5, 6 years old. We was freestyling on the porch. Just in the beginning stages of it, writing lyrics. Doing all types of stuff. That built you up to what I am today. But I've been in it since I was like 6. 13 is like the first time I really got into freestyling and writing lyrics and stuff. And right around 2012, I believe, that's when I took my leap. I was going to Edinburgh from 2010 to 2012, schooling for everybody. So, I came back home around 2012 after my second suspension from Edinburgh. And I'm like, if I'm gonna be down here and I'm gonna be in the city now, since I was used to just being gone, I said I gotta do something. I just can't see myself just working a regular job for the rest of my life. So, that's when I started to take music serious. And, we've been on the grind. It's like August 31st was 5 years. 5 years since I started. I've been in here for 5 years. Writing, recording. I did a lot of stuff in 5 years. But one thing I learned this year is there's so much more I can be doing. This was just like my breaking point this year. I learned that the world's bigger than Pittsburgh, and I really got to step it up if I want to make it to the next level.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what every underground music artist on the upcoming.
Yeah.
That's what's up for real. So, in what cities have you performed in so far within your 5 years?
Okay, I've been to Cleveland. I performed on the Get Money Stop Hating tour in Cleveland in 2015. If you follow me on social media, I've been up New York a lot for the last couple of years. I got a chance to perform in New York twice, in Brooklyn and in Harlem. Salute to my man Picasso for bringing me out in Brooklyn, and my homie Uni G. He let me open up for him last year for him and Manola Rose on the Swerve tour. I've done interviews at Clarion. I've done interviews at Cal U. I've done interviews down Pitt with Swag and other people. I did a lot. It's crazy. Like my resume is real deep. It's like one thing I prided myself when I started rapping is I just figured out once I first started, I was like I got a message and I got to get this message out as much as I can, because it's like the way music is nowadays. It's like when you got a message, it's kind of hard to really get it to the masses, because I pride myself in talking about real issues, real lyrics, just real lyricism, period. So, my hustle was just crazy. So, coming up, it was always trying to get on as many blogs as I can, do as many radio interviews as I can. Like, my whole career for real started right here in this building, down at the Diamond Building. I started out on the Prayer Show. My homie Sapphire had a show, that's where I met DJ Solo Dolo. So, I had countless interviews down here, and just, I did a lot of traveling over the last couple of years. I could say New York was one of my biggest influences and one of my dopest experiences, because we was really in the trenches, like moving through Harlem, moving through Brooklyn, Manhattan, all of that. So I did a lot these last 5 years.
Okay. So it's just you're moving on up every year.
Yep.
So musically, what are your biggest influences and who are your favorite musicians?
I could say my biggest influence now, it kind of like changed over the years. When I first started rapping, I could say Jay-Z was one of my biggest influences. Even though he still is, we talking like, but I admire his business skill more than I do his music. But I'm still a fan of it. But I could say like AZ was one of my biggest influences, like musically, because that's where my name comes from. He originally, before Chief Keef, he was originally to me that I grew up on. He was Sosa to me, so that's where my name came from. And just I call myself the city most underrated. I feel like I'm one of the most underrated artists in the city, and I feel like he's the most underrated artist of all time, like especially when it comes to a hip hop artist. So I could say that's one of my biggest influences. Nowadays, I could say my influence are J. Cole, Drake, I'm not really a big fan of his music, but I like his grind. Kendrick Lamar, you know, I can go on and on. But you know, a lot of the newer artists, basically anybody that's spitting about something real and has a message behind their music, I'm a fan of. Like, I'm not really too musically inclined with a lot of people nowadays, because you know I'm really just into my own stuff, I could say. But I could say anybody that has a message and anybody that's dope, you know, I'll give them a listen. You know, I'm very well rounded when it comes to my musical selections.
Okay. Is there anybody in the music industry who you look up to, maybe lyrics wise or style wise?
Oh, definitely J. Cole. Definitely J. Cole. I like the direction J. Cole's going with his music. I like that, you know, when he first started out, you know, everybody first starts out when they get that fame, you know, you living in the flashiness, you living in the money, you living all for the money, you know, you just living all for, you know, just the hype of everything that you've been building your career up to. I just like the direction he's going with his music now, because it's like, he don't care how people feel about him. He doesn't care, you know, how people feel about how he dresses, you know, what he does. It's like, it's so dope to just see somebody just really in tune with their music and just in tune with themselves. Like, I pride myself in, you know, watching his documentaries and stuff and seeing them like on the forefront. J. Cole, one of the few artists that, you know, can really just pull up in somebody's neighborhood and just talk some real shit, you know, with the people. It's like he cares more about the people than it is about the overall music. And I feel like that ultimately influences his music, because he has so much love for his people and he has so much love for his fans that it just makes his music so much better.
Right. So with that being said, since you're a J. Cole fan, I'm curious, what hip hop albums did you grow up actually listening to?
Oh, the first one off the rip, Reasonable Doubt. I remember I was in 3rd grade. My homie came to school. I tell the story all the time, but I came to school and you know, I was new to music. It really started like even back, like my cousin Mario, you know, used to have like a big CD collection. You know, we all grown up now, so we ain't really come from this MP3 iPod era. We came from the era where they had the bootlegs, or you had the CDs, the book of CDs and stuff. So just seeing him, just listening to Rough Riders and just all the dope rappers that was coming up, that's where it started. I could say my first interaction with a hip hop album was when I was in 3rd grade and my homie brought these CDs to school. He had DMX, It's Dark and Hell is Hot. He had, I think he had a Locks album, and he had Reasonable Doubt. Reasonable Doubt was the one I took home. After I heard Reasonable Doubt, that just like changed my life forever. I just loved the way Jay was telling his stories, and it was like, it's like they see how trap music is now. I feel like trap music of that era was more, you know, they was telling more stories. They was giving you a more vivid viewpoint of what was going on. You know, nowadays it's kind of like, you know, everybody's in the trap, everybody doing this, got 30s, this and that. But I just feel like coming up, there was trap music before there was trap music, and it was, you know, they just give you, it was like a visual masterpiece. So I can say that was the first hip hop album I ever listened to. Big L, Big Pun, like I said, Rough Riders, DMX. Those are some of the people that I listened to.
Okay. So with that being said, what do you think of the Pittsburgh music scene today?
I could say right now the Pittsburgh music scene is thriving. It's really going to another level. Like it's dope to see people like Hardo and Kizzle home now. So I'm always been a big Kizzle fan. So it's dope to see Kizzle and Hardo just back doing that. Like I feel like they got that vintage sound, like that vintage trap sound. Like it's dope to see that. I know a song just came out recently. I think it had Kizzle on it, Hardo, Asco, Nizzy, Wapo. It was dope. I'm like, I like that. I like that the scene is thriving. I like to see them working together, you know. So I think it's thriving. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody has their own opinion on the Pittsburgh rap scene, but I could say nowadays, you know, if you would have asked me this a year ago, I would have been like, I could tell you everything that's wrong, but right now I could just tell you everything that's right going on. Like, people got to pay attention to what everybody's doing. I feel like it's thriving, because right now I'm in the process of working on something, and I'm just looking at the way everybody's moving, and I like that way everybody's moving. And one thing I can say to, like, any artist out there that might watch this, or, you know, it don't matter if it's Pittsburgh or beyond Pittsburgh, it's like, if you want your shit to pop, you just got to work. You know, everybody thinks, you know, it's bias out here, but I'm like, as I really see it, I'm seeing it now from about to be 25 than when I was like 18 when I first started. It's like, you just got to work. If you got a message, you know, it's going to travel if you really put in the work. You got to put in the time, put in the money, put in the effort. If you just stand stagnant, nobody's ever going to hear your story, because there's a demographic for everybody. I feel like there's a demographic for, like me. I feel like my demographic is like, you know, it could be the younger generation. It could be the adults. It could be like the urban intellectuals that are thinking the way I'm thinking. And I feel like they looking for, just like the people in the trap got the people that's rapping the trap music, I feel like the people that got a message, we got to get that message out to the people, because if we don't get the message out to the people, nobody's ever going to hear it. So I feel like it's thriving. I feel like especially with WAPO. Salute to WAPO, salute to Hardo. See them doing their thing, man, that's big. When you start seeing people like WAPO on Vlad TV, you see them on Mass Appeal, you see them on these big media outlets doing title performances. That's all motivation right there. That's all hard work. So, salute to everybody in the Pittsburgh music scene doing their thing. And if, you got a problem about what's going on, you gotta look within yourself and see what you gotta change for yourself. Because if you focus on what's going on with somebody else more than you focus on what's going on with your own shit, you ain't never gonna make it no more. You just gotta stay focused.
Exactly. And I like how you worded that, because a lot of people, that we interview or talk to, they bash the music scene here. You can't bash something. I just feel like you can't bash something that you're part of. I'm pretty sure everybody got their frustrations, but I feel like going into this, like I've been in this for a long time. I done seen the height of the Pittsburgh scene, which was 2013 for me, when there was shows. Like I said, we was down the Diamond Building. Like I met so many people just doing so much stuff. And granted, yeah, we all know that people. A lot of people have problems with trap music. But one thing I can say about the trap artists is they sticking together, they running together. Like I said, that song Rice Bag came out. You got Hardo, you got Kizzle, you got Nizzy, you got WAPO, you got Asco, you got all these artists that are coming together and they all working together. I feel like, that's their lane. You can't get mad at somebody about the story that they telling. Another artist I fuck with, I feel like right now doing this thing is Black J. Black J doing this thing too. He really spitting. So there's a lane for everybody. You just got to figure out in your lane. One thing I learned about the conscious lane sometimes is we don't really stick together. It's like, I feel like when you're in the conscious lane, I feel like everybody's just, trying to show that they're way more talented than another person. Like I said, it's not like that in all cases, but I just feel like the same way they move, the same way that hip-hop heavyweights in the burg is moving, the people in the underground gonna move the same way. It takes people time to really figure out when they want to get in that spot. Like one person I've been working with lately a lot was my homie D Lane. Like working with D Lane, switching up, my engineer and working with D Lane kind of just really been helping me take my shit to a whole nother level. And I'm recording down, you got the Short Shack, and then you got Madtown Studios with Samaj down the hallway. You got James Jr. down there. So I record at a place, 448 Studios, where there's a multitude of people that's all, doing the same mission. We all show each other love. You might have a homie sitting on your session, and we all just showing love. So I just feel like you just gotta work. We gotta work straight up. Like that's what it's coming down to. If you want to make it to where you want to be, the first thing that you need to understand is the world's bigger than Pittsburgh. Once you start thinking like that, you'll be alright. Yeah, it's cool. You gotta have a buzz here. I feel you. But if that's the only thing that you working towards is a buzz in Pittsburgh, you're never gonna make it nowhere. Which I totally agree with. I
Never
think
gonna make
anybody
it
in the industry would.
No.
So you seem really humble with everything. How would you describe your own style?
I can say my own style is I have a very diverse style. I kind of like to relate to the people. I kind of like to relate to what's going on. Like no matter if it's like a party song or you might have like it's big right now for black people in our country. Sometimes our brothers might need to hear something every day to make them feel good. Sometimes we need the women. The women might need something to make them feel good. I want to make people feel good when they hear my music, but I also want to be informative. You could party, but my biggest part of my style is being informative. I feel like I'm a reporter. I feel like I'm out here in the trenches every day. I'm not a street nigga, but I see what's going on in the streets. I could tell you a story about what's going on in the streets. I represent for the people that, wake up every day working 9 to 5 to survive. I represent for the trap dudes. Because it's all a hustle. We all out here trying to get, it don't matter if you trapping, working a 9 to 5, doing videos, whatever. Everybody out here trying to make it. So I just feel like my style is just for that. I feel like that's how my style rocks. I represent for everybody. So when you hear my music, if you go on my SoundCloud right now, I got 99 songs on my SoundCloud. I guarantee that you're going to find a song that represents you or represents what you stand for, or just something that's going to keep you entertained. You got to keep the people entertained, but you also got to inform the listeners.
Exactly. Which I definitely feel that. So you mentioned that you like to tell stories and you know what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
How do you feel about everything that's going on in the world so far as like, a couple of the, when they drove over the people in different cities, the flooding in Texas, the killings, Pittsburgh, Chicago, what do you feel about everything?
I feel like the biggest part in the world right now, the love's not there. Everybody's, there's so much racism going on. There's so many hardships that people are facing, like especially with the floods down in Houston. And that kind of touched me because it's like them people can't catch a break. I even seen a video today on Instagram where they're like down there fighting over gas. Like it's like the main component in life is love.
I feel like if the love's not there, there ain't gonna be no order. I feel like when it comes down to stuff that happened in Charlottesville, it's like people try to say like, you know, I seen people saying like, you know, they each have a right to protest just like Black Lives Matter, just like AMFTA has. I'm like, but at the end of the day, you have a certain group that is preaching hate. You have a certain group that is saying how, you know, you gotta understand. You got a group of people that's saying like they want everything to just stay one way. They don't want immigration. They don't, you know, they don't want Jews. I heard somebody say they don't want Jews to take over. It's like love is not there no more, and people got to realize that sometimes we have to humble ourselves as people, man. We're white, black, Asian, whatever. We have to humble ourselves and realize that we're not too much better than anybody else. Yes, you may have money. Yeah, you may have more money than him. You might have a Lambo. You might have a Beamer. Shit, on a lower level, you might have a Louis belt. You might have some new Jordans on, but that doesn't make you better than the next person next to you. I feel like we all gotta love each other, because if shit gets real, which I know it eventually is gonna get real. I don't want to hop on here and be a conspiracy theorist, but shit is gonna get real. These are the sign of the time. Shit is really testing the people, and I feel like a lot of times different groups of people are failing. I feel like the love is missing in the world, and until that comes back around, until love and values and, you know, just good vibes come back, shit is just gonna continue to be the same.
Okay, so over the past 5 years or so, who did you collaborate with so far?
Norman Dean, Chris Mitchell. Those were like when I was coming up. Those were like two people that I really worked with. Like I really worked with Norman and them. I'm proud to see what Norman and them have become. Like Norman doing big things. I seen him. He's like one of the dopest engineers in the city. So salute to Team Epic. Them were some of my biggest collaborators. Like I worked with my homie T1. I worked with my homie Leo Chambers. You know, because at one point in time we were a group called Bird Music, which was a dope experience in my life. You know, that's something that I'll never forget. My homie J Con, who I started, like, even though like stuff kind of ended up the way it did, like I feel like that period of time, 2013, 2012, or like 2013 to 2014, that year and a half, like we really did big things. Like me and J Con that was like one of the first times I did like a whole mixtape. And he produced the whole mixtape. We was like childhood friends. We came up together. Like we was at the same babysitter. Like that's where that came from. So, you know, working with them, like working with my homie T1 off the rip, you know, he produced really two of my biggest songs. Like right now, I'm pretty sure you heard it before. All night been going crazy on SoundCloud this week. Like it's doing big numbers. Like All Night just hit like 5,000 listens on SoundCloud this week. My song called Letter to Arthur Pitt been doing big things. Been doing big numbers. Working with my homie helping with my homie JC, who engineered most of my music over the years. You know, just everybody. I can't really think of everybody off the rip, but I've worked with a lot of artists. I've networked with a lot of artists. Did shows with a lot of people through my own shows. It's been a dope experience. Like I said, it's had its up and downs, but over 5 years I've learned a lot. But one of the biggest things I learned is just to stay focused. Like the last year and a half of my life was really crazy. Like it's like I lost my grandma, and that was like my main motivation. Like it's like losing her. It's like I feel like sometimes I was grinding for her. There used to be times where I ain't had money to take these trips, but I'm like I had money to take these trips or do these shows, but I'm like, you know, I feel like she was my main inspiration. Losing her was crazy. So I could say like the last year and a half, like my inspiration kind of like went down for music. I even thought about giving up this shit. But you know, I knew I had a bigger purpose in this. I knew I didn't start this 5 years ago. If I was just gonna give up, I just could have just went back to Edinburgh. So, you know, it's been a long road. I did a lot of big things, and you know, I'm just looking forward to the future.
Right. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
And so, in what ways have your new music changed from when you first started?
I'm taking more time with it. And I can credit that to my homie Sid, who's my manager as well, and she has her own brand that I'm also a part of as well, called Fly Forever Productions. It's just, when I was in my early stage of my career, I was kind of like doing my own thing. Like, you know, I was always responsible, even though I'm pretty much still doing my own, I'm pretty much still handle my day-to-day stuff. It's just that now I don't really have to, now I got a homie that I'm running with that's on the same page as me, and then like I said, she manages me as well. So, you know, she's always studying. She's always reading books. She's always just informative every day when it comes to the everyday grind. Like, she's a videographer, but she's very musically inclined too. So it's like just listening to her and be like, bro, you gotta expand your horizons. I know when I first started out, people expected me to just be this hip hop artist, and then I was coming out with songs like All Night and different other songs. And people like, oh, you don't make music like that. But one thing I could just say, learn from my homie. Also, my homie J Lex, that's a part of our team ODH. It's like being around them and just listening to their suggestions and just being like, you gotta be well rounded when it comes to this music. And you're never gonna, and I credit Sid with this, like, cause every day she tell me, bro, we never are gonna make it to our full potential unless we keep working. We gotta keep grinding. She used to tell me, like, when we first started hanging out, she used to tell me, she's like, yo, we gotta work for our spots like they already took them. And I feel like that's the stage that we in right now. Like, we working hard. Like, yeah, we might have been quiet a little bit, but best believe behind the scenes, we've been putting in work. We've been putting in work. We got stuff ready. It's just that there's no point in really putting out stuff if you don't got no business plan. If you don't got no marketing plan, you ain't got no money behind it. And that's something that she stresses to me every day. And, you know, sometimes, you know, you might not agree on everything that somebody says. You might not agree with everything everybody says. You might not agree on what everybody says, but I could say, like, being around them, it's really helped my music, because now I'm taking more time with my music. I'm stepping up my music suggestions. I'm stepping up just like my overall sound. So we doing big things.
Okay, yeah, exactly. And J Lex, she's dope too as a female artist. I heard a couple things from her.
Lex, like I said, like, I remember when me and Lex was working on All Night. Like, me, Lex, T1, the homie Jason, we was all working on that. Lex is dope, period. I feel like Lex is one of the dopest artists in the city. I feel like she's gotten so much better over the years, especially my homie Sydney too when it comes to videos. I got a chance, like, the last 2 summers to shoot weddings with my homie Sydney. I seen Fly Forever Productions when we first started out to where it's at now. Like, I feel like 2018 is going to be big for us because we all focused, we all doing our thing. And I'm more than happy to be around the people that I got in my life now. Like, being in this game 5 years, you ain't really around the same people every day that you was 5 years ago. But I can say them two people, Lex and Sid, man. If it wasn't for them, I don't know where I'd be in my music career. Because it's like, not only am I inspired by their grinds, I'm inspired to just the way that, you know, they give me suggestions and the way they, you know, help me. And the way they help me and the way that, you know, they just show me that, you know, I got the way to do this. You doing your thing, but you could be doing this 10 times better.
Right. So you mentioned, like, in 2018, y'all got some big things popping. Where would y'all want to see yourself performing in 2018?
If they was here with me, we probably, man, we just want to get on the road. I can't really say, I can say I don't really know about them, but, you know, me and bro talk about all the time about just being on the road, being able to be on tour, being able to just, you know, just eat off our music, like, and not have to wake up and go to these jobs and we work at the same spot. We both work at the hospital every day. We just talking about, bro, this ain't gonna be forever. You know what I'm saying? We both looking at second jobs right now. It's not something that we really want to do, but it's something that you gotta do if you want to make it. You want to make it to the next level. So I could say, like, anywhere big, just being on tour, just anywhere where the people's gonna love and embrace us. I could say, shoot.
Hey,
you gonna see me doing big things 2018. You gonna see Sid doing big things 2018. You gonna see Lex doing big things 2018. So, you know, sky's the limit.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely. And last but of course not least, where can people follow you on social media if they aren't already? Okay,
you can follow me on Instagram, Sosa412_, Twitter, Sosa412_, YouTube.com/TheRealSosa412, and Facebook, Facebook.com/Sosa412. I also am a part of a podcast in the city called The Brutally Honest Podcast with my homie Daryl and my homie Daryl, homie Marlon. You can check us out at SoundCloud.com/The Brutally Honest Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at BrutalPod, and follow us on Instagram at The Brutally Honest Podcast.
Okay. And y'all heard him. Make sure y'all go follow him, and make sure y'all check out his music on SoundCloud. He ain't making music for nothing. This is for y'all to hear. This is for y'all to relate to.
Check it out.
All night, popping bottles, we've been drinking all night, all night.